We're doing all right, man. Just getting focused on the group, trying to bring everything back together after everything with the BAL and all of the time off. Just trying to get back united, build our chemistry back, and be ready to put a great product on the floor. Missing two key players is a big detriment to the team. It's very unfortunate for not just APR, but for the country in general, a national team, for two players like that to have a outstanding track record of serving and performing at a high level, for those guys to be banned. So as a coach, no, I'm not ready to do without them. But if those players are gone, it's very important for us to show our strength, show our resilience by having all of our players play at a high level to fill those holes. I think what's happening is unjust, and I would love not to be playing without those guys. The decision was very surprising. I think we went above and beyond to do more. We had a situation last year with Osborne last February where he was hurt, even with APR in February or in end of January, early February, and he committed himself to national team wholly. We released him national team wholly, and he played injured during that way, and then he came back and we lost him for the next 6 weeks, right? When he returned to play, he ended up injuring his knee and has been out for a whole year. I think there's a lack of protocol for reporting injuries for the national team and when guys are being called. Because of our situations in the past, we had a game on Wednesday. National team was going to have a meeting Thursday, I believe, and practice Friday. Our guys had documented injuries. Axel came out of the BAL, did a scan on his back, had a bulging disc in his back. Our medical team did a great job of reporting that. Nori's been battling a foot injury, similar to what he did last year after the BAL, where he couldn't even practice during the whole playoffs, right? So that's been a chronic injury of his. His foot had been hurting quite a bit. But for our team, you even saw it in the games, how we've limited their minutes and situations because of them being injured. So this time around, our medical team, I thought, did a great job of putting together medical reports, gathering all the data to send to them. Our players never refused playing. We just wanted to make sure we supported them in that as an organization. So, when they went to practice that Saturday morning, they showed up with their reports. They showed up to practice. We had, everything documented. So receiving that report later that day was a bit of a shock for not myself, but all of us. They actually were just cleared to train, as the report said, right? The reports never said that they couldn't play national team at the club level. They just started back training. Yeah, just like I said, it's congruent along with what their medical report said. The guys were hurt. The medical reports never said that they couldn't play national team. The medical report simply said that they needed 3 days, 5 days, or whatever the exact days was to rest and do rehab. That's what they did, and they're back practicing now, the same as they could have been back playing with national team now. Our players are disappointed. Of course they're disappointed. Our players wanted to represent the country, and they accepted it, and they pushed to do everything they will. Axel expressed it even in his emails that he would love to represent the country. They always have. They've been doing it for years. So to even doubt their patriotism just doesn't make sense, right? So now for them, it's we have to continue as work as usual as far as bringing them back, a return to play, building them back up to be in shape and be healthy. But they're definitely disappointed, a little bit distracted with everything that's going on and the lack of information and the lack of discussion that's happening. As a group, again, we're just trying to stand strong, stand united together. All the teammates have had their backs, trying to push them in a positive way, them two and Osborne, who was also injured. We're just trying to stand together, stand united, and continue to move positively. No, I would never blame those two players because I don't believe that the players did anything that was necessarily wrong, right? The conversations that they had, they expressed their injuries, they expressed their motivation, their pride to always represent the country. They never turned it down. They reported to camp, right? So the situation became out of their control because of maybe some levels of miscommunication, maybe a delay in some of the communication, or just a lack of, like I mentioned. So I would never blame them, but our team is strong. Our team is deep. We do the work daily. We keep to ourselves, so nobody knows the level of preparation that we actually do. And we prepare for small holes, right? We want to patch every small hole we can, and we have players that are hungry, willing, and able to step up. I think there has to be discussions made. Hopefully it can be done amicably, and understanding the wrongdoing or the mistakes of different sides and different parts of the conversation. Again, our players never refused. They showed up, they had their medical reports, right, substantiated. Maybe there shouldn't have been communications between national team and the players where it should be club. Maybe there should be a protocol in place that actually has a procedure for reporting medical injuries, because there's another player that played with national team that with his injury was just a simple phone call and he was excused. We show up with an MRI, letters and reports, and we're not excused, right? So it's just inconsistent. So hopefully all of those things can be satisfied and fixed during this. The conversation, the players ban, they've already been sanctioned by our club, and also the federation understanding that more infrastructure and protocols need to put in place so there's no gray area for people to be confused.